Welcome to RoXolid Productions, where in this video we walk you through how to use the HD Homerun Prime live channels for Android TV, the nVidia Shield TV, and Plex to help you cut or shave the cord. Hi everyone, I am Gary with RoXolid Productions, and this video actually is inspired by one of our commenters on one of our videos, actually on our Should You Buy the nVidia Shield Android TV streaming box, which you can find right there. This comes from Sandra K, who wanted to know, what is Plex and how do you get it? Also, how do you do live channels? I'm planning on getting rid of cable or downgrading to basic cable and buying the nVidia Shield, in which I'd like to get all the channels that I already have in a guide like what we've shown in our video here. What is the SiliconDust from the SiliconDust HD Homerun? What do you mean when I say you need to check and see if your internet provider also provides basic local channels? And also wants to know if what her options are if she didn't have an over-the-air antenna or cable. So we're going to get started here. First and foremost, there's a couple different parts of what we're going to be working with. And the first is going to be the HD Homerun Prime from SiliconDust. Now there's a couple different versions of the HD Homerun. There's one that utilizes the input from an over-the-air antenna, and then there's the Prime, and the difference between the two is the Prime actually utilizes a cable card from your cable TV provider to basically decode channels coming in through your cable provider. Let's take a closer look. Gary, why don't you show them what it's all about? So we're going to start actually up here in my media room, where you guys have seen me film a couple times before. And one of the first components that you're going to want to utilize to be able to access live channels and really get the most out of Plex is this little box here. This is the HD Homerun from SiliconDust, and the version that I have here is the version that is designed to work with cable companies. There's another version out there that is designed to work with over-the-air antennas. The reason why I'm using this one myself is the fact that, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I get my television and internet service from Comcast. On the plan that I have, I get 75 megabits downstream for my download internet speed, but they also include 10 channels of basic cable in with my subscription. With the HD Homerun here, one of the nice things is it takes that signal, hi Pine Top, it takes that signal and distributes it over my whole home network that I have. It connects right to my Asus router that I have right next to it, and it allows me to connect to different devices. So I can connect to a Chromecast, my Roku box, I can connect to my PlayStation 3, my PlayStation 4, I can also connect to my nVidia Shield TV, and that's where we're going to head right now. Thanks, Gary. As you can see, the HD Homerun Prime, it's pretty simple as far as what it is. All it really is an interface between your cable company and your home network. And like I say, I use the Prime because I actually get basic cable TV channels from my internet provider. Now, one thing as of right now, this I have not been able to get to work with premium channels. So like my HBO that I get through my service, this does not work with that. And we'll show you that in a moment. So that's the hardware side of things. Let's talk about the software. And we are again going to use the nVidia Shield TV that we have here on our Samsung 4K TV. And there's a few things that we're going to go to. First, I'm going to scroll over and we're going to go to, this is the HD Homerun app itself. And we're going to go into that here. And once that launches, it verifies on your network that you do indeed have a HD Homerun connected to your network. You saw it pop up for a second there, but it has the guide along the right-hand side of the television. And you can see it gives you a little thumbnail and everything, channel number. Now down along the bottom, you can go to closed captioning, go to SAP, or this here, the arrow right and left, that's kind of changes your display size. once I hit the little kind of hamburger looking thing in the lower right hand corner, that takes me to this screen here, which can take me to either live TV, what I've recorded. I can discover, and this is where I would search for different content that's out there. And here you can see all the different channels that are available that it's picking up off of my network, and that's available to me at this time. And tasks, this is where if I utilized HD Homerun's own DVR service, this menu would populate with that information. I don't, because I already pay for Plex Pass and I didn't want to have duplicate in service. So overall, it's a pretty simple interface. I like the fact that once I'm in here, if I go to like channel 1197, I can scroll over and it shows me more of what's coming up, and I can scroll up and down. It's actually really a nice interface. Kind of basic, but sometimes basic is really good, and I actually think it's really, really good. Now, in here too, I'm going to back out. And I'm going to go to the live channels here, and I'll go to my home screen. And one thing that I do too when I back out of any of these is I double click to go down so that I can actually dismiss the app. The HD Homerun will only support so many different devices or so many different independent channels at once, depending on which version that you have. So I'm actually just going to close those out too, go back home, and now we're going to go to live channels. Now on live channels, this is actually baked right into Android TV, and it's really cool. Before we get into this though, there is a HD Homerun application for your tablet or cell phone on both iOS and Android, so you can actually stream to your portable mobile device too if you wanted to. So now on here you can see the interface a little bit different. It does give me the title and the channel towards the top, a brief synopsis, whether it's in HD or not. It is 16:9, full HD, 5.1 audio, and it does have the rating there. In the upper right hand corner you do see that it shows the NBC HD as far as the network. Now down below I can access my program guide, DVR, scheduling, and recordings. Much like the HD Homerun software, this does have built-in DVR functionality. You do have to do something to enable that, and I'll show you that in a moment. So we'll go down here to program guide, and once again you can see slightly different way that it uses the program guide. It's grabbing all the same data though. It has my date up on the upper left hand corner, time across the top, channels on the left hand side with the network icons where applicable. It has the name of the program, brief description, and whether or not I can DVR it. From my understanding, they do have certain things that they do not allow you to DVR. One of the things I want to make sure that I'm recording tonight, Goldberg's, because it's hilarious. If you've never seen it, check out the Goldberg's on ABC. Awesome. But here too you can see I can go forward or back. Another actually really underrated show, I think, Designated Survivor. I still have to watch the last episode of season 1. So I can scroll up and down, and it gives me a lot of good information here. Now I'm going to back out of here as I'm going to go to my setup before we get to the recording. So I've got options where I can do closed caption, I can change my display mode. Picture in picture is really neat, and here you can see in the picture in picture I can actually go back and play around in my main menu if I wanted to. So say for example I wanted to bring up, I don't know, let's go to my radar. There's my radar playing there, and you can see in the upper right hand corner that's my live feed. Now because I was pulling data off of my network, you saw as it was loading it actually broke up here. So bandwidth is something to be aware of. I'm going to exit out of here. So that's kind of a cool feature on here that you do have the picture in picture. Go back to the home button and I can go full screen. Bam, there's the list there. The other thing that you'll want to be cognizant of is these two settings on the far right, the Get More Channels and Settings. So we're going to go into Get More Channels, and this will take us to the Play Store, and it'll give you recommendations of content that you can actually have populated through the Live Channels app. So things like Bloomberg TV, Haystack TV, Pluto, which is a free service that's actually got some good content on there. Along with Insta TV and the Weather Network TV app. That's actually something you've seen me use quite a bit on here. It's actually a really nice weather service. The final thing in the settings menu that you're going to want to tweak and play around with is both channel sources and customized channel lists. These top two, along with turning on time shift. Now, time shift will not always activate unless you go through and work, first of all, on your channel sources. What you'll want to do is make sure that you have everything in here that you are drawing input from. So Google Play Movies and TV, yeah, I've got that. It's basically just movie previews. The HD Homerun input, that is off of our HD Homerun. The network TV tuner, that is beta. That's what I was just showing you here. So it will actually double up these two inputs. I actually have the HD Homerun input shut off in my program guide, but it's still there running in the background. Pluto TV, there's 533 channels on Pluto TV. There's a lot there. The Weather Network, and again, I can come right from here and get more sources. Now I'm going to go back as Adam F. Goldberg is on screen right now, not to be confused with Adam Goldberg. They are two different people. Go into settings, and then I'm going to customize my channel list. And this is where I have different channels blocked out because for some reason Comcast in my area doubles up. So I've got WCIA, which is channel 912, right? So let me scroll down here. WCIA 1003. It's weird the way they do it, but this way it eliminates duplicates in my area. I'm gonna go up here too, and if you can see, I have all the music channels. I don't want them, I don't care about them. I've got those blocked out so that they are not in there. So this is the TV Network Tuner Beta. Now if I go all the way to the top, this section is going to cover the actual HD Homerun and has a slightly different icon in the guide. So you can go either way. I prefer using the network tuner, but it's really 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. If you find a channel you like, just hit the center button and it will pull it into your guide if you want it. Now you have to do both of these to enable the time shift. This is where you can play, pause, fast forward and rewind with live TV. Finally, in live channels, it does have a rudimentary DVR function in it. And to do that, you basically just go to your program guide, and let's say that I want to record, let's see, something that, All in the Family, because nobody sits in Archie's chair. All that I do is I go here, I hit the center button, and it asks me, what would I like to do? Do I want to record this single program or the entire series? And from there, it would record either the one or add it to a season type or a program type recording option. Now, I'm not going to do that, but I want to show you too in here what happens to when I want to go through and I want to watch something I have DVR'd. I'm going to go to Recordings and Schedules. And these are, and I don't use this function much, but these are the different things that have been DVR. Really, it's only one show at this point. Shows me recent, things that I have scheduled. I don't have anything scheduled at this point in time. Series, again, Big Brother, entertainment. It'll break it down by category for you here. So let's go into Big Brother, and this was the season finale. I can watch or I can view the schedule. It gives me a brief synopsis here too. Or I can delete my recording. I'm gonna watch, hit play, give it a moment, and we'll see the Chen bot, Julie Chen, pop up. There she is. Now, the pixelization that you see there, that seemed to be on the original recording, and it came through here too. So that's basically how the Live Channels app works. And for a free service, you don't have to pay for the DVR, you don't have to pay for anything, just have it on your nVidia Shield TV, and it works for you. As you can see from the weak signal thing though, it doesn't always work the best. So now we're going to dive into Plex, and think of Plex kind of as your Windows Media Center or your media center that you used to have on your computer, but now it's available to you on your TV. It's also available on your iPhone, your iPad, your Android phone, Android tablet. You can use it in browser. There's a Chrome plugin for it too. There's a lot of different ways that you can access Plex content. In fact, my PlayStation 4, my PlayStation 3, my 2 Samsung Smart TVs all have Plex Media apps built into them, so it's very cool there. So library, this basically has it broken down to movies, and what I do is I have converted my DVDs and Blu-rays over to a digital file format, so if I am traveling I can watch it on the go. I do have smaller versions of them for on my tablet for just that specific reason versus the movies there. It's a higher resolution version so that I can watch my movies later on through my nVidia Shield TV. TV shows and news. This is actually a new feature that they just added, that you do have access to a number of different news channels. I can confirm, and I haven't gone through this yet, I can go through and confirm that I want to do this. I can personalize items or not now. I'm not going to deal with this now. I'm going to come back at a later point in time and do it. But the news section is something new, no pun intended, to Plex. Now going back in here, I can continue watching, and one of the last things I watched on here was the season finale of Big Brother. On deck, these are just some of the most recently recorded items that I have, along with the recently aired television, recently added movies. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, terrible. Compare that to Spaceballs, hilarious. Live TV, this is one of the two spots where you're gonna spend a lot of time if you have Plex. In the live TV, this is where you can check out your program guide or your recording schedule. So I'm going to go to my program guide now, and then it gives me a list of things that I can watch right now. This top row, that's everything that's being broadcast right now at this moment in time. So I've got the Goldbergs, the Blacklist, Empire, Arrow, Dateline, Survivor, baseball. This is everything that's coming through the HD home run from Xfinity right now. Below that, these are shows that are starting soon. Below that, these are things that are new tonight. And if you see too, so I've got the Goldbergs, which is going on right now, and it does show over here Speechless, which will be on afterwards. So it's giving you content recommendations. Upcoming shows, these are things that I have set in my DVR that I want to record, and it's just showing me, yes, these are set to record. So I've got Arrow, Gotham, Will and Grace, The Orville, Chicago Fire, there's a NASCAR race, Mr. Belvedere, football, Packers-Bears Thursday night, that's what that is, Blue Bloods, The Big Bang Theory, The Flash, recommended content for me based on my recording preferences. So it's going to give me everything here that it thinks I may want to watch. Upcoming movies, upcoming sports, upcoming news. You kind of get the theme here. In addition, at the top, you can sort and look for things like you can look for different movies. And this is all the movies that are coming up, I believe, within the next 14 days. I can view right here. Back out of that. News, same type of thing. These are the different news channels that are coming on in my viewing area within a certain amount of time. Shows, this is where you can find TV shows, and where I find this useful is finding what I want to record and program in my DVR. So one of the things I'm keeping an eye out for is Chicago Med, which I have not seen as of yet. So let's go down to C, and you can see it's in alphabetical order. On the right-hand side, it does have your alpha characters over there too, so I can also just go all the way over, go to C, which we're already there, so it's going to stay put. Let's see. Whoop. So we have, I went by it, didn't I? Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, Chicago Med is not on here yet, so this is where I'll keep an eye on that. But this is a really easy way to go through and check out what's coming up so I can program the DVR service. Sports, again, same type of thing, where I can keep through, NASCAR racing. What is this race that's coming up? This is NASCAR racing from various locations. It doesn't give me any more information right now. That's due mostly to what the metadata that they're getting from Comcast at this point in time. So once I have everything all set up, I can also go through and I can change and set priorities in my recording schedule. So this is everything that's recording on my TV within, from today to tomorrow. It will record, this unit actually has 3 separate tuners on there, so I can record 3 different channels at once. The other thing I can do, very similar to TiVo, is I can go here to the recording priority, and I can set what I want to record over something else. So for example, my #1 priority, Big Brother. Well, there's nothing coming on right now until they start Celebrity Big Brother. The Flash, Chicago Fire, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so on and so on and so on. You can kind of see how that works. New programming is automatically added to the bottom of your list. So if you want to move something up, so I have Designated Survivor, I'm going to go here and I can move it up one at a time, or I can hit the 3 dots and I can send it to the top of the priority list or send to the bottom of the priority. Really neat how I can go ahead and customize that. The final feature here that I want to talk about in Plex, kind of gray area feature. And I kind of think it's borderline Kodi usage, but it gives you some access to some things that you may sometimes need a subscription for that works without one, and other things that are available free through other apps. So, and what I'm talking about here is, this is the Channels app, and you set this up by actually logging into your Plex account online through a web browser, and you can add these to your server itself. So as you see here, I have access to, there's a South Park channel, CBS, NBC, Fox, Food Network, a bunch of others. And basically what this does is it allows you to have access to certain on-demand content that would normally be available via an app. So for example, I'm going to go to ABC, and let's say that before the season premiere of Designated Survivor, I want to go back and I want to rewatch last season's season finale. So I'm going to go down here to Designated Survivor, Season 1, Brace for Impact. So I'm going to hit play, and it takes me in there. It takes a few seconds for it to buffer, and it takes me right to the beginning of the episode. Now this is normally something that I'd be able to watch on the ABC app. So this I would not consider piracy. Now I can back out of here, and because this is something that would normally be available through like the ABC On Demand app, I don't consider this piracy. I don't consider it to be along the same lines of Kodi. It's also limited to the number of episodes you can go back and view. Another one, for example, is, not Food Network, that's not what I meant. Let's go to Fox. With Fox, I can go to All Shows. Let's say I missed last week's season premiere of Gotham. And what Fox does, I'm going to go here to Season 4, 1 episode. Go to the season premiere, and as of right now, this episode is currently locked. So it's only available for so long after it's debuted for you to come back and watch it. However, there are other services in here that a little bit more questionable, a little bit closer to that Kodi line. And one of them is the South Park channel that I found in getting ready for this. So I actually have a service that I pay for. I get Comedy Central on it. But through this, I can actually go through, watch any episode of any season, and I don't have to log into anything. So this is where this really is on that gray area. But here you can see episode 21.2, put it down, the latest episode. See the air date, September 20th, hit play, and after just a few seconds here of buffering, PC Principal starts talking and bloviating like he would normally. This I put closer to what Kodi was, where you could get content that you should not have access to. Again, I subscribe to a service that I have access to Comedy Central, so I have less of an issue with that myself. Some of these work well, some of these don't. So again, your mileage may vary on this. So at the end of the day, that's kind of how you use Plex with live channels or with your on-demand service, the Plex Pass, kind of how it all works together to create one unified media center. So at the end of the day, would I recommend that you sign up for Plex and Plex Pass and use the HD Homerun Prime from SiliconDust? Absolutely. Before I owned an HD Homerun Prime, I was a Plex user because of how well it grouped and organized my video content that I had. I wanted to be able to stream my content from within my house and outside of my house without having to worry about the discs. Now, I still have the discs. I like having physical media, but this just makes it really easy to watch the content anywhere. And quite honestly, the HD Homerun Prime is a lifesaver if you're looking to shave or cut the cord. Even if you don't want to get rid of your cable provider, going with something like this can save you money. And here's how. Every cable box that you have in your house, you pay a subscription fee for, right? Well, a lot of times you get the first one for free, but box 2 and so on, you're paying per month to rent that equipment. Most cable companies will give you one cable box or one cable card for free. That was my case with Xfinity. So I was able to use this system to watch on up to 3 different TVs, and I'm not paying any equipment rental fees. It's pretty sweet. The interface is very good, and overall performance is pretty solid too. As you've seen here and in other videos, I've had some issues with pixelization and buffering. If I went with a faster service, I may get a little bit better service, but I think it has more to do with my in-home network because it's all coming through my home Wi-Fi. I have an Asus AC1900 router that is capable of both AC and N speeds. So maybe I need to upgrade that. I'll be looking into that in the very near future. But if you have a cable service, I highly recommend looking into the HD Homerun Prime, because let's say that you only have 3 receiver boxes in your home, you eliminate 2 rental fees right off the bat, especially if you already have a Roku box, if you have an Amazon Fire TV, if you have, an Apple TV. Any of those devices you can use with this. Now, Plex does seem to update and provide newer features to Android and iOS before things like the Amazon Fire TV, so that's something to be aware of. I cannot access the live channels currently on my Roku box. I can only watch it via my not even PS3, my nVidia Shield TV or on my phone. Now, one thing I can do is I can select my HD Homerun from my inputs on my television. Here, let me show you that right now. And it doesn't always show up properly as I come behind the camera to grab the remote. So some Samsung TVs I know can use this. There it is, Network HD Homerun. So I'm going to click that. I'm going to go to Videos. And what this will do is it breaks down channels or favorites. I'm going to go to Channels. Here's all my channels right here. So in my bedroom, I don't have an nVidia Shield TV. I just have my Roku. But I also have a Samsung TV. So say I want to access, and here you can see it labels DRM. That's the protected, doesn't work right now. But let's say that I want to watch, let's see. That's the Weather Channel, Weather Scan. Select it, enter, it'll take a few seconds to load, and it'll stream it via my Wi-Fi network straight to my TV. Took a couple seconds, it looked a little grainy, but here you can see I'm receiving it right through my TV. Pretty cool. There's a lot of functionality that they are working on. They're working on building up their DVR service. It wasn't available initially, and it's getting better and better and better. The integration into things like Plex is great. So it's something that you will definitely want to look into if you're looking to shave or cut the cord down the line. But those are just my opinions. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. I'll read each and every comment. I really want to know what you think. You can also email us at roxsolidmail@gmail.com. Hit me up on Twitter too, at RoXolid Studios, or on Facebook, facebook.com/RoXolid Productions. You can also support the channel over on Patreon, patreon.com/RoXolid. A lot of times what I do is I put up content a couple days early for our Patreons, like Eric Jordan, who is able to see content before anybody else just for paying as little as $1 a month. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe. Hit that bell too so that you can keep track of the notifications when we do upload new content. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you do subscribe, because once we hit 500 subscribers, we're going to be giving away an RES Plus from Retrobit 8-bit NES clone. Pretty cool for you to take advantage of. So at the end of the day, would I recommend the HD Homerun Prime and Plex? Absolutely, it's a no-brainer. I'm Gary with RoXolid Productions. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.